Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day with your host, former Saturday Night Live superstar Joe Piscopo. Produced by Joe Sibilia. With news guy Al Gottulo and traffic with Debbie Duhame. This is the Joe Piscopo Show.
Len Davies is author of Hollywood or Bust. And this is a very, very interesting story. I got a call from my friend Rick. He's a well-known Hollywood producer. He said, you got to talk to my buddy Len because they're opening up Hollywood studios during this pandemic, and they're finally making a comeback. And Len is the guy that is starting this whole thing. Hey, Len Davies, welcome to the show, my brother. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well, Joe. Thank you so much for having me on. It means a lot.
Well, thank you for being here. We're in the middle of we got the pandemic, and now there's a massive power failure throughout New York and New Jersey. But we got to get back to work, man. And tell us your plan on getting. I mean, this is no small thing, Len Davies. You're getting the Hollywood studios back to work, brother. How are you doing that?
Well, we put together a series of protocols, and when this whole thing started, I ended up ghostwriting a book for a doctor on the pandemic and learned so much about it, what it actually does and what needs to happen with this thing. And that started me putting together a series of logical protocols, the way I call it. And at the end of the day, we started Anastasia Group. And the way it works, basically, it's all down to testing. Testing is the key. But you've got to tie that in with intense sanitation and with COVID compliance officers. And more importantly, with people being sensible. Because at the moment, there are too many people out there who literally just don't seem to get it. You know, and it's crazy. But we can get any industry back to work with the testing protocols. But there are certain things that need to happen, though, first. And the one thing that really frustrates me at the moment is that all of this testing that's going on in the streets, for example, everybody's got a right to be tested. But if I had any power in the matter whatsoever, then I would stop all of that testing for one main reason. It is a waste of time, a waste of money, and a waste of resources because they get the results like 2 weeks later, and it's just nonsensical. The 3 to 5 days after the test, your status has changed anyway. All of that testing could then be applied.
You know what, Len? You know what? Your point is so well taken. So just to stay on that for a second, so you get tested. And I was just talking about it now because I try to adhere to all the CDC guidelines, you know. And if I'm out and about and like I'm not in the studio now. I'm quarantining just to make sure, God forbid. But I want to get my kids tested, and it takes so long. And then by that time you could, God forbid, catch the virus between the time you get your test result back. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. And basically what's happening is that is swamping the laboratories. Now, for me, it should be a case of to stop that testing as it is now. Everybody can literally get an at-home test these days. There's a lot of companies around the country doing at-home tests. And, I mean, we partnered up with a laboratory in Florida doing just that. So that's an easier thing to be done. But it means that street testing can then be assigned for nurses, doctors, teachers, police, fire, people who need the frontline testing 3 days, every 3 days, you know?
Yeah. This is good. What can you give us the website? Are you allowed to share that information with the Florida laboratory, Len?
Well, we're in direct contact with them. We can reach the deal through our website, anastasiagroup.com. It's ANASTASI group.com.
AnastasiaGroup.com. Len, you're at the studio, and before I want to get into how you got there, but at 9:43, Len Davies is author of Hollywood or Bust. So, Len, you go to a Hollywood studio, man, and now you're in there. Now people don't, we all make jokes about Hollywood and everything, but I've been there long. The hardest working people are on those sound stages. What's the first thing you advise the company to do? Testing, masks, social distancing? What's the protocol that Anastasia will put into place?
Okay, well, the first thing is the sanitization, the deep cleaning. We got crews that have got quite a unique hydrogen peroxide deep cleaner, which sanitizes the interior of the stage. That's the first point. There's no point putting anybody in there until that's clear. And then literally a two-stage testing protocol is what we do. We have the people waiting outside while they will have done firstly what we probably call the nasopharyngeal test, which is the deep swab. a day or 2 days before so that we know that first test has been done. But then we apply the serology test, which is the antibody test, the blood test. So literally, with people socially distanced outside the stage, we let them get their test, and they'll get the result within 10 minutes before they're allowed into the stage. So they'll maintain social distancing all the time with that. Now, when it comes to actually working, masks are still an essential. Even though your mask is clear, you just never know what is going on. So masks are an essential. Social distancing is an essential. The obvious problem we get with the stages is a lot of crews require close proximity. So you can have like 5 people on a camera, for example. So with those sort of cases, it is just a case of when it's necessary to minimize it as far as possible. But if you're testing everybody when they go into the stage and all the equipment has been sanitized before they start work, and everybody is wearing masks in that situation, on shorter terms, you should be okay. And when it comes to talent on the stage, we have things like personal necklaces, for example, they can wear, which ionizes the air around them and helps to sanitize their personal atmosphere. So we're offering to actors, we say, if you get one of those, put it around your neck, then literally you can keep it on until such time as you're about to roll camera. Then you just hand it to an assistant, do your scenes, and then put it back on again. That gives you that extra level of protection. So there are quite a few things, and we're learning new stuff all the time. So it's a constant, ongoing learning process.
Yeah, AnastasiGroup.com. AnastasiGroup.com. We'll put it on our website because this is actually great. Hey, what did you ghostwrite, man? Just out of curiosity, you said you were a ghostwriter. Anything that we would know?
No, I mean, the book is. I've only sort of done a couple of ghostwriters, apart from writing my own thing. When the pandemic hit, I had to make a pivot in my career because obviously I was locked down and didn't know what to do. So that was when it all kicked in, really, around about March time. And I got the book was called Pandemic Proof for a doctor up on the East Coast. And literally, the research I did on COVID was an absolute learning curve for me. Unbelievable when you think about it. And the thing is, as well, Joe, COVID is not malicious. People get this wrong. It is not malicious. And if I can just put this out there about the masks, for example. People say, I don't want to wear a mask. Fine. That's like leaving your front door open and say, come in and take my stuff. Because literally, if somebody's walked a path before you and coughed and spluttered, and that stuff is still floating around in the air for 3 hours, it can survive floating around in the air, and it's just looking for somewhere nice to go, and your nostrils are one place, you know. And once it's inside, it'll make home.
Yeah. You know? Hey, Len, so you were born in Wales. I'm curious to know how you managed to make your way to Hollywood, man.
Basically building up my reputation in my career, because you have to get what they call the Person of Extraordinary Ability visa, and that takes a lot of proof and evidence and awards and all this sort of stuff. It took me a long time, but in 2011 I got my visa to come over and be a producer and director and actor, which was really cool. And literally, I love America with a passion. I've been here ever since. And my main thing now, I have a mission to try and open this country the best way we can, and that's what Anastasia is all about. And if I just mentioned, Joe, you mentioned Rick earlier on. So I mean, Rick Finkelstein of Entertainment Factory. I mean, he's not only our industry liaison when it comes to this whole thing. He's become an integral part of our team and the success that's going on. Now I know he's got his studio open up, Access Studios, in the first quarter of next year. So we're going to be a major part of that studio to make sure that it's a totally COVID-safer environment. And, I mean, Rick is a blessing. Unbelievable blessing. He's been a major part in what we're doing.
We had more fun. We did How Sweet It Is, and we just had a blast making that movie down there. Rick had called and got us in touch with you. But, Len, and we appreciate what you're doing. AnastasiGroup.com. We will retweet that out. Len, though, I got to ask you, could your group come to New York? And because they're just not letting us do anything, and I think your approach to this is so smart. Let me go in, let me lock this place down for you, and let's just get back to work. You and Rick are capable of leaving California, coming to New York, and helping out a little bit.
Well, we're based in the East Coast as well. Our head office is in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. And my main team is in Philadelphia on the East Coast, and one of our main medical experts is up in Trenton, New Jersey. So we've got a footstep over there already. We're already talking to schools in the New Jersey area as well. So,
exactly.
Joe, we would love to, brother. We would love to. You just let us know.
Len, great chat, man, and would love to Rick and his family, to you, Len, for the great work you're doing. And we will post all the information. If you're listening and you want to get back to work, here's the man that can get you back to work. This is the organization that could do it, Anastasi Group, and we will post a website for you. Len, God bless. Hopefully I'll get to meet you sooner than later, my friend.
Thank you, Joe, and I really appreciate you bringing me on board. That means a lot. Stay safe, brother, in all of these hurricanes and everything.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Len Davies right there. Anastasi Group. We'll get that to it. See, you can't just say we're not going to work. You can't just say shut it down. No, you can't move. There's an uptick. No, get back to work, and you can do it safely. And there it is right there from Len Davies, Rick Finkelstein, and my friends from California. We'll check out, and we're going to retweet that out on AnastasiGroup.com. Hey, it's Joe on the radio, 10 minutes before 10 o'clock.